Streets. I guess everyone is watching the game. Cowboys versus Eagles, huh? I wonder what the score is. I don't have the game on. I'm just, laying right here in the bed. I had a nap earlier. Just woke up not too long ago. I see that Bishop and Farmer Nancy is live right now. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. They're over there laying down the law over there. Shout out to them. Shout out to Bishop and shout out to Farmer Nancy. I've been doing Farmer Nancy for a while now. These YouTube streets. And she good people. So shout out to her. Yes, yes, yes. And then Just Jay. She went live last night, you guys. I was so happy Just Jay had went live last night. Shout out to Just Jay. Man, you did a good job last night, too. You did a very good job. I'm glad that she went live and she was able to get out, what she needed to say to her audience. And I'm glad she apologized to, the individuals that, she had, I guess, said something wrong too. So, yeah, it's good to hear people take accountability for their actions, and it's good to know that. So, shout out to the chat. Yeah, I went live earlier this morning and it showed you guys the truck. I explained the situation about man and how he met his end, Uh, and it's what surprises me? His people been knowing me all this time. None of them say nothing to me. You got a brother that lived downtown. I haven't run into him yet. I haven't run into him, so. And like I said, Birdman he do have children, and he has grandchildren. And I remember before Birdman had passed away, he was paying some kind of insurance, some kind of money somewhere. I think it was for his grandchildren. So, he was a good grandpa to his grandchildren. He only had two that I know of. I've only met, I think, the oldest little one, and that was it, Today is Sunday. Today is Sunday. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. We got 3 in the building and 2 likes. Good job. I want to, also for this video, I want to welcome all the new subscribers. I see that I got a few more subscribers. Shout out to them. I want to welcome them to the channel. And my name is Arabia Barbosa. And I've been on these YouTube streets for quite some time. And I usually talk about, current events, some things about history, and sometimes I will even discuss about other YouTube creators in this sector or what's happening on the YouTube. Now, this morning, you guys, it looks like I discovered another YouTube channel. I'm not subscribed to it yet. The author of the YouTube channel that I was looking at earlier this morning, they are basically an ex, or should I say, a former Jehovah Witness individual. There are a lot of people that are leaving these conventional and sometimes organized religious orders and sets. And Jehovah Witness, uh, I'm not a stranger to the Jehovah Witness religion. As I explained before, I think I explained it on my walks that my grandmother, before she passed away, she had been a Jehovah Witness since she was 22 years old. She passed away last year, and she had been with them for a good portion of her adult life. And I do remember my father telling me certain things about how he grew up. They didn't celebrate birthdays, they didn't celebrate holidays, and some other stuff. And he seemed like to me he didn't have a happy childhood. He complained about how my grandfather mistreated him. He complained about problems he had growing up being a child in my grandmother's house. And my grandmother was also the victim of domestic violence. My grandfather, Grandpa Smith, he was a World War II veteran. He was a hard man, from what I'm told. I've seen him in pictures. I've never met him in person. I don't know the man. I have only been told about him, and he was not a very nice person. He was not a very nice person. And I do remember my grandmother telling me that before she had got married, this was years ago, she stayed married to my grandfather for 33 years. Okay. She knew him longer than that because they were teenagers when they started dating each other. I think she said that she was 15 when she met him. My grandfather, Grandpa Smith, served during World War II. He was a Navy man. I believe he served 2 years in the Navy. And he was just someone that he had a temper. I'm gonna tell it like that. He wasn't very nice to his family. He terrorized his family. But I gotta put it on my grandmother. She was not supposed to marry him. She was arranged to marry a different person, a person that I believe the person was not from this country. I believe they was from Cape Verde, because my great grandfather came from Cape Verde, and he wanted his children to marry Cape Verdeans or Cape Verdean Americans. He did not want them to marry black people that came from the South or from the North. Shout out to the chat. Even though he himself was married to an American woman, and that was my great grandmother Barbosa. But no, he wanted my grandmother and Aunt Pam, the two oldest girls, to marry Cape Verdeans They did not. They went with their heart. And it got them into a lot of trouble. I don't believe my grandmother should have married Grandpa Smith. I believe she should have married the Cape Verdean gentleman that she was supposed to be married. Because if she had done that, then my father would have never been born. I would have never been born. My brother would have never been born. And neither would my two nephews or my cousins or any of my aunts and uncles. If my grandmother would have married the Cape Verdean gentleman that she was promised to marry to, that she was told to marry, she would have been a happier woman. And she would have not been living in poverty. Being married to my grandfather, they lived in poverty. He didn't have any money. He was a Navy man. Yes, he served during World War II, but the man had issues with alcoholism. He was an alcoholic, and he was someone with a bad temper. And she should have never married him. And that's the way I feel about it. I feel that arranged marriages are arranged for a reason. And it's not for you to be poor or to be unhappy or to be mistreated or to be abused. And for some reason, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But if I was her, I would have married the person I was promised to. Or the marriage was arranged. It was arranged for a reason. And one of the reasons was for her not to have lived in poverty. I don't get it. I just don't get. I don't get why people don't listen. Sometimes it's better to listen to the older ones because they know better. Arranged marriage, there's nothing wrong with arranged marriage. Nothing wrong with it at all. I've never heard of an arranged marriage being destructive or not being productive. When people marry for love, I think that's when things go weary. I think that's when things go wrong. Shout out to the chat. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. And I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything for anyone. When I talk about, okay, let's say if I'm talking about myself, I will, I will talk about the positive and the negative, and I will talk about the past, I will talk about the present, and I will talk about the future. And I don't know what's going to happen in the near future. Like, I didn't know that 5 years I would be here in this apartment. I didn't know 10 years ago that I would had ever came back to South Carolina. I'm from New York, born and raised. My father, born and raised. My grandmother, born and raised. My grandmother's mother, born and raised. Her mother, born and raised. And before then, the furthest I can go back in my family tree is to the 1870s. That's how far back I can go. I don't think I can go any further. So I can only go back over 100 years. Some people on this app can't do that. And that is why I'm glad, even though I was adopted at a young age. The people that took me in and my brother in did not treat us well. We was mistreated. We was abused. We were not valued. Uh, we had difficulties that should not have been. That should not have been. My mother should have, if she's going to have children, she should have been responsible. And that's what's wrong with a lot of black women in this country. Not just black women, but all kinds of women from other racial backgrounds or whatever the case may be. Sometimes if you're not going to, I'm going to put it like this. If you're poor and you don't have any money, you don't have any family support, maybe you shouldn't have kids. And that's my opinion. It's a strong opinion, but that's mine. That's my opinion. Because you make it harder for your children. And I believe if you raise your children in poverty-stricken conditions or circumstance, it's child abuse. It's child abuse. And there was a YouTuber on the YouTubes that talked about these issues that goes on in the black community. His name was Tommy Sotomayor. Now, there have been others who have come after Tommy, but they were not, and they are not, well-rounded people. They're not well-rounded people. Tommy was. Tommy was a current event talker. Tommy would talk about problems that's going on in the black community. He was not shy. Tommy talked about the things that happens between us as black people. And one of the things he did mention is about colorism. It's about being strongly indoctrinated into some foolishness that they had no business being a part of. You know what I mean? Word. We got a big problem in the black community when it comes to colorism. We got a big problem in the black community if someone is born with, I would say, African features, the thick lips, the wide noses. We got some people in our community that got a problem. They got an issue with those facial features. They think it's ugly. They think it's unattractive. In my eyes, it's not. I don't see it that way. You know what I'm saying? And I have appeared on camera plenty of times, and there's lots of people that don't don't like me, don't like the way I look. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll appear on camera. Sometimes I won't. I'm just going to keep it real with you. For those that are new over here, I'm going to keep it raw and I'm going to keep it real. The only thing I ask is when you're in the chats or if I go live and you're in the chat, to be respectful of my other chat members. Be respectful. Because there's a lot of people that be in my chat that has been with me for years. More than a year, more than 2 years, some of them. Some people have been with me for 5 years. Some people type in the chat, some people don't. And there's a lot of people on this app that have supported my channel and have supported me. So shout out to them. I'm going to close out this video. But, hey, G Mama. G Mama, thank you for coming in. I hope you enjoy your day. Have a happy Sunday, G Mama. I don't know if you're watching the game, G Mama, but thank you for coming in. Have a great day. G Mama, she's so sweet. She always supports this channel. She always comes in and sits and visits with me. because she knows. She knows. Sometimes I can get, get real deep, you know. I'm learning Spanish and Swahili for those of you that are very new to this channel. So there might be times you will hear me, and I'm learning these languages. There might be times you might hear me speak some phrases in those different languages. Sometimes when I do a short video, I might title it something in Swahili or Spanish. It's not necessarily English over here all the time. I need to be studying my Swahili in a few more minutes when I get back up. So shout out to the chat. Shout out to everyone that just came over to visit with me. G Mama, thank you so much. I love you. Shout out to those that have hit the like button and those that truly support the channel. I will be back tomorrow morning. I usually go live very early, so some people are usually asleep when I go live, but they always catch the replay. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. We have a lot of people that actually donate to this channel. Shout out to them. Shout out to those that support this channel in their own special way. That's the way they show their love and their support. And some people actually share my videos. Shout out to them. That's how they show their love and support for this channel. And just simply hitting the like button and coming in and participating when you want to. There are times that I will go on StreamYard. I will drop the link. And a lot of times, a lot of the OGs that have been knowing me for a couple of years, they will come and hit the link. If you're new, I suggest that you refrain from hitting the link for right now. You can hit it, but you're just gonna have to, follow the rules of the link. Hitting the link. You know what I mean? Because we've had some issues with people hitting the link. In the past. So that's all the thing I wanted to say. I want to shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to my subscribers, my new subscribers, my old subscribers, my support team. Shout out to some of my YouTube creators. Shout out to them. I'm out of here, you guys. Y'all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.